Hey guys, RC here, back with just a quick Fallout 4 video. Um, I have done a couple of videos for a mod that I recently came across called Sim Settlements, and I have also done a preliminary video for using that mod at Oberland Station, and I was working on doing a tiered or layered structure using the settlement. So here is what Oberland Station is looking like currently, and we'll get in a little closer. And I still have, some cleaning up to do because I'm adding platforms for more houses and whatnot, and I do need to add some support structures, but honestly, because I don't know exactly how this is going to transpire as it builds itself, I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, and so I'm kind of waiting to add the support structures once I know that it makes sense. So if we come up here and we start, we have the Brahmin outside of the settlement, we have the trader's post, and we have the front wall. And as you remember from my previous video, if you watched it, we actually have our line of defenses up here, and so I was able to use the tall junk walls here across the front and down the side. We've got a little guard post there. And again, what's interesting about this mod is it's just like SimCity, where you just place the type of foundation that you want. So a residential, agricultural, industrial, commercial, and it builds it, and the Sims take ownership and build it themselves. So here you have a one-story shack. This is a tier 1. These are the metal tier 1s, and they're both different. They look similar, but if you look inside, they have a couple of different odds and ends. As far as some of the layouts. And then if we come into the main courtyard where the workbench is and the initial crop field, I've just expanded on that a little bit. And I didn't want to touch that, so that is where I kind of started with this little, what got me started is I built this little foundation that went right above the fence along the back wall with the access ramp from inside the fence for protection, and I was trying to figure out how to build off of here, and so I ended up coming up to this level. And this was nothing unusual. I had done this before in previous builds, and I ended up building, shacks and whatnot off of this level. But what I didn't like about that was it actually ends up basically level with the railroad tracks, and they can run right up and shoot into the windows and kill you and your settlers if you're not careful. So I wanted to end up coming higher up. So I did this platform. I built a little commercial area here in the middle, and then I built an up ramp here up to this higher platform, and this is where I actually started my building. So we have the line of defenses, and then we have a house here. And then you see this house is actually morphed from a level 1, actually that might be a level 3 now, and it becomes a 2-story house. So they actually use their platform and elevate it. It doesn't make a bigger house, it just makes it look different because it's on this raised platform, and that's nothing I built. That's all from the plot that the homeowner for that plot did. And then from here we built out around our little commercial downtown area, and we put in there was another house that has developed up here, and then we have a tier 1 house there, another tier 1 or tier 2 here, and across the front and over in the corner. And then this one here has also morphed into a tier 2 or tier 3. Again, I'm not sure exactly what all the tiers look like, but you can see that, you know, the ones that end up on stilts as elevated housing are still on the same platform as the way these are, but it's lifted up to make it look different. So you can actually see as the mod develops, and that's just really fun to watch that. Let's see, I did not have. I did build a couple of agricultural plots out here, and you can see even though they built on inclines, they still fill up with dirt to give it a good look, that it's still making sense, that it's not floating or anything. So really like the way that came in. Had to build around this tree, but I'm really liking this mod, man. I cannot gush over it enough. Just the work that King Gath, the mod developer, has put into it. Just the way that it self-assigns ownership, and the owner takes ownership and builds it, develops it, works in the shop. And then what's interesting about these shops is they do have the employees that work there. You can buy and sell from them, but they also, the houses and the shops also generate tax revenue. So at this point, every 3 days, I'm getting about 157 caps, basically for nothing, just for being the mayor of the town or whatever. So that's interesting. It'll never make you independently wealthy, I guess, but at the same token, so and I understand that you can build much more elaborate structures by hand, and that's certainly something I still do to some extent. It's just I have not done it here, and you can see, like right here, I have a floating platform. So I do need to tighten those up a little bit, but just right now I don't know exactly where I'm going to go from here, as far as where I'm going to bring the next level of platforms. If I want it, maybe I'll take a walkway out and put an elevator in and have a little bit lower level. Now I can't cover up these houses because I want those to be able to grow. In fact, that may be one reason those are not growing. I may be in their build line here. I don't know. I still think that has the whole second level, and that's also why I've left room above the commercial, because I want those to be able to build up as well, because you can see how high that gets on this level. So you need to make room when you're doing it, but it gives a tiered layout, and I really think that is interesting the way it comes about. And I mean, our build line comes out across the road here, so even though they spawn down there in the rocks, I could actually end up feasibly taking this ramp and building out and having houses and whatnot out in this area, all the way out here, but have them elevated to where they can't be attacked. The only access would be from inside the settlement back here. So it gives you a lot of room, and of course you could do that anyway with any type of settlement, but this has really opened my eyes to kind of how to put a settlement together, how a settlement could develop, trying to leave room for expansion upward, building upward rather than always having to be on the ground, or right thereabouts. I mean, as you can see, I mean, we've got three levels here basically. We've got this upper tier, we've got this commercial downtown tier down here that really ties in with the living quarters in the existing tower structure, and then we have a third tier down at ground level. Uh, that it was pretty much here when we got here. And then, I can incorporate a lot of things over here. I might be able to put a farm plot in this raised corner, for example. Maybe what I do is put uh, an industrial plot there to start getting some scavenge material. And that's one thing. It actually enhances the junk that you get from your. It's basically an enhanced scavengers table or bench that you get in the vanilla game, um, but it enhances the amount of stuff that you get. So anyway, I was just really loving how this is coming together. I'm using this in all of my settlements, um, and like I said, it's just really opened my eyes a little bit as to kind of restructuring. And I can see going back and building in vanilla now, um, but incorporating some of these ideas. But what I really like about this is that the houses are so self-contained. Each person has their own living space, so you have to factor that in. I mean, like this one right here, it's kind of like a half round. I couldn't build that in vanilla. Um, I don't think I could. I've never seen the roofing to do that. Um, so I really just like the uniqueness where each one of the houses really is something different and something self-contained. Even ones that look similar like these two, completely uses different um, walls and is put together differently. And then the way he has it inside to where the decorations are completely different. Um, for each one, really shows the uniqueness of the individual living there. And that's one thing. I don't know if I've mentioned that when he creates when a character is assigned by the mod, it's actually given a backstory, hobbies, where they come from, and you don't really get to see all that, except in the way that they are structured. So, like sometimes you'll see in some of the houses, you'll see that they are painting. So you can tell that the person is an artist. This person appears to be some type of scavenger, just pushing the cart around and picking stuff up at random. Um, but there's little tiny giveaways uh, in the design and the things that the person has in their house. So maybe like a detective or a spy or something, gang member, baseball player. Hard to tell, but you just kind of read into their stories. Um, you have the clothier shop in here. Um, who do we have in this one? We've got that's a armor. So you have an armor table, and that armor table is workable. You can actually use that. So I do want to add a couple more commercial plots in here, and I'm pretty much I think I'm getting close to my cap. And in a smaller settlement like this, I don't see using the glitch to bring in 30 people. I don't know that it would be realistic. But I really like just again looking at it from above. We can really see the diversity of the settlement. Whereas what I find a lot of times is I'll build a room about the size of that platform right there, and stick a social quarters on the first floor with some tables and chairs and whatnot, and then an upstairs I'll put 12 mattresses and sleeping bags, and boom, I've got 12 beds right there. Whereas here now I've got to have it spread out, and it brings the settlement to life a little bit more. And we really don't see people standing around. Now, I mean, I do have some here, and what that means is they don't have jobs. So I need to maybe dig up some of these uh, plants and put down more farms. I need to get in some more commercial. I need to get in that industrial for salvaging and get these people some jobs, because that will generate more tax dollars, more scrap, and things of that nature. So, when they're gathered around, that's kind of indicative that they don't have a job, and all they have is their house that they're assigned to. Because I should only have a handful of people down here farming in this area, and then I should have people out here farming as well, which they're inside right now. So, each one of these plots is one person, so that's 3 people right there. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to show off the settlement here, and take a look at it. I'm not sure I like doing the video from that camera eye spot, but it just seemed a little rough. So if it came across as too jumpy, I apologize. But I wanted to be able to get around without running around in my power armor down here. But anyway, thanks for checking out the video. If you haven't already checked out this mod, I highly suggest it. You really don't need anything else. It's self-sufficient, so it ties in with pretty much any other mod. I think there's a few that he notes on the website on Nexus that is incompatible, but for the most part, I haven't had any issues, and I'm running probably about 40 mods right now, counting this one. So thanks for your time. Thanks for checking out the video, and we'll talk to you later.